All right, Jesse on Fire, welcome back to the channel. Now, we're going to talk about Khamzat Chimaev. We're going to talk about the welterweight division. We're going to talk about lots of things, actually. We're going to also talk about Conor McGregor and Masvidal and Colby and Leon Edwards and Kamaru Usman. Now, it just sounds like I'm just saying things, right? Like, it sounds like I'm just saying things. Look at me, you guys. This is the first time I've smiled in so long. I've had the virus, and I can tell that my brain's kind of working again. This is really exciting, you guys. I'm about to get an IV. I have one of those people coming over with an IV. I'm hoping that'll be the final thing to get me over the hump. But I'm not just saying things. Like, all of the things I just laid out are actually going to be in this video. So, yeah. But the purpose of this video really is going to be an examination of what is going on with Khamzat Chimaev and why is he not getting booked. But then also, if he did get booked against this person, what would happen if this happened, that happened, that. This is a lot of brain power for a person whose brain has been in a fog of mush for the last few days. So we're going to see how I do, okay? But if you like the content, subscribe and ring the bell. We're almost at 50,000. I keep saying that. And, you know, it's just not, you know, like a couple weeks, I would say. Probably, I would say inside of 10 days, we will be at 50K. And then I'm going to do a big, fat drawing. So that's going to happen. Anyway, I love you guys. Thanks for the continued support. So here's the deal. Dana alluded to the fact that there is something going on behind the scenes for why they can't. You know what? Actually, let me start somewhere else. Now, we're going to talk about Khamzat not getting booked, and we're going to talk about all those things. But before we do that, has anyone seen the post that Khamzat Chimaev did of him and Conor McGregor in Spider-Man outfits? Anybody catch that? Right? Like, and if you've seen the most recent Spider-Man, it's like there's a bunch of different Spider-Men from different dimensions, but they're all Spider-Man. So I really have been trying to figure out what the meaning of that post was. If I remember to put it in the video, I will put it in the video, but I do have COVID brain, so I might forget. And if I do forget, go ahead and head over to Khamzat Chimaev's Twitter and check out the picture that he posted of him and Conor in Spider-Man suits. I have no idea what that means. Like, I literally have no idea what that means. None. So your guess is as good as mine. Maybe it means that, like, they may be from different dimensions, but they're both Spider-Man, like they're both superstars. I mean, I don't know. Or maybe Conor is now his manager. I literally have no idea. But it was notable because Belal Muhammad retweeted it, and he said, "This is what happens when Khabib won't take your phone calls," which I thought was actually pretty funny. Which reignites a little beef ski between Belal Muhammad and Khamzat Chimaev. Maybe those two should fight, huh? Fight. I've said that fight makes a lot of sense, dude. Khamzat Chimaev and Belal Muhammad makes a lot of sense. Okay. Now, the reason for that is, you know, the UFC is their critical component. Don't let Khamzat lose. I'm sorry. Yeah. Don't let him lose. Okay. Don't let him lose. Don't let him lose. But they don't rig fights. So at the very least, you can mitigate your risk of him losing in terms of the negative impact on the fan base by giving him an opponent that, if he beats him, is a great person to adopt some of the hype from the same part of the world. Okay. Belal Muhammad is Muslim. So is Khamzat Chimaev. They're both, like, you know, they share a belief system. And the only reason that that's important to note is because of the fan base, right? So if some of the hype comes off Khamzat, the fact that some hype will go onto a fighter that can capture the imagination of the same group, that is a huge upside, okay? Now, if that sounded like something that you need to comment on, oh, geez, that sounds racist. No, it doesn't sound racist. That doesn't sound racist at all, actually. That just sounds like I understand that people identify, you know, as fans with people who may have similar belief sets as them. Doesn't mean that other people aren't fans of them also. Just means that, like, in the event that their superhero loses, if they lose to someone else who also would be someone they can grasp onto, that's a good thing for the UFC, okay? I don't even know why I had to re-explain that. I just felt like I was talking to the camera. I could see people pointing at me. Don't fucking point at me. I have nothing but love. You guys know that. Jesus. I love that part of the world. The most Spartan gangster lifestyle there is. The fucking Muslim fighters out of Chechnya and Dagestan. Fucking gangsters, man. Anywho, but so there's that. But then Gilbert Burns wants Khamzat. Khamzat wants Gilbert Burns. Okay. Now, we've talked about this fight also. It's very dangerous for Khamzat Chimaev. Extremely dangerous. That is a scary-ass fight, dude. Because Burns is the most dangerous guy off his back. And Khamzat wants to put people on their back. So you might end up in a stand-up fight, and Gilbert Burns is extremely explosive, and you don't really know what Khamzat has in terms of his chin. That's the only untested part of his game. So, you know, it's a dangerous fight. So you don't know if the UFC is going to make it. Now, that said, now we need to talk about the broader landscape at 170, okay? Because you have Masvidal fighting against Colby, and you have Leon fighting against Kamaru. Now, in the event that this happens, like if this person wins and this person wins, then maybe you get another fight. Now, if this person wins and this person wins, then you get another fight. But if this person wins and this person wins, there's no fight there, okay? So, as an example, right? If Colby wins, he can fight either of these guys in another title shot, right? Like if Colby wins, Leon wins, Colby can fight for the title again against Leon, and he will. He will. And then they would probably do a rematch against Kamaru with Colby having the belt, just to switch it up and make it more interesting. That's what I would do anyway, right? Assuming that Colby beat Leon, obviously. But so if Colby wins, he could fight Leon, or he could fight Kamaru for a third time, 100%. If Masvidal wins, he can't fight Kamaru. If Kamaru wins, Masvidal wins, those two aren't fighting. In which case, if Khamzat wins his next fight, he'll fight Kamaru next. So if you really want to see Khamzat Chimaev fight for the title as soon as possible, here is what you're rooting for. You want Masvidal to win, and you want Kamaru to win, because then almost certainly you'll get Khamzat next. But if Leon wins, you are going to see either Masvidal or Colby fight him first, because Masvidal, and then you might even get a Kamaru rematch too against Leon. Okay, so if you want Kamaru to win for sure, if you want to see Khamzat fight as soon as possible. If Leon wins, like I said, he fights either Colby or Masvidal, especially Masvidal, dude. If Masvidal wins that fight against Colby and Leon wins, that sets up a big fight. A real big fight, dude. The UFC, look at, again, if you want to know what would have the UFC just drooling, like frothing at the mouth for a super fight, okay? If you exclude Khamzat, because Khamzat versus anybody is going to be a super fight now if he gets all the way up to a title shot. But the super fight for them is Leon wins and Masvidal wins, because then they get to do Leon versus Masvidal for the belt. Masvidal gets another shot at the title, and zippity-doo-dah. It'll be really interesting to see if they give Kamaru an immediate title shot or an immediate rematch against Leon if he loses. Because, I mean, look, I think Kamaru's probably going to win anyway, you know? But it's just different. There are so many marketable guys at 170 that Kamaru's already beat. Right? So they're like, oh, we have a chance to give these guys another title shot. Because think about it like this. It's like, you know, let's say Masvidal and Colby had a bang out, drag out 5-round super tight decision. Right? And then one of them gets to win the belt. They're doing it again. They'll do that fight again. There's just like, man, this might be my COVID brain, but I am actually having a hard time even connecting all of the different, like, this is like a matrix level algorithm of what could happen at 170 based on the outcomes of these fights. But again, if Kamaru wins, the only thing that could be in between Khamzat and fighting Kamaru, assuming Khamzat wins his next fight, would be if Colby beats Masvidal, which he very easily could. But yeah. I mean, geez, Khamzat could fight all these guys, dude. Khamzat versus Leon, Khamzat versus Colby, Khamzat versus Masvidal. The thing is, you always need to make a title shot. That's why it's, you know, I'm sure people are going to think, they're like, why wouldn't he fight this? Dude, you always need to have a title, like a title contender. You got to have someone fighting for the title. And if Kamaru beats Leon, he's beat everyone, right? Who else is there? He's already beat Gilbert Burns. There's no one else even in position for a title shot. You know, there really isn't. So if Khamzat wins his next fight by dominant fashion and Kamaru wins against Leon, I think you will see Khamzat fight for the title. Anyway, that's what I got. So subscribe to the channel, ring the bell. Peace.